Hello everyone and welcome back to another week's episode of GC San Diego Create STEM 10 Plus series. My name is Ronnie Vasquez and today we're going to be talking about saltwater density. We're going to be talking about how salt water actually affects the marine life in the ocean, and also our experiment is going to be super simple, super fun, so stay tuned. Before we start, I want to thank our friends from Elementary Institute of Science for providing our guide for today. So I want you to ask at home, have you tried floating in the ocean or have you tried floating in the pool? Do you recall any difference in between them? Well, today we're going to be talking about how actually that works, how you can float better in the ocean or at the pool. But before, we're going to go ahead and see the materials that we're going to be using today. We're going to be using water, regular water, 2 transparent containers. We're going to be using 2 eggs, salt, and a spoon. So before we start, I just wanna talk about how different animals are very sensitive to the salinity of the oceans. For example, the whale, which use their salinity and the density of the water to travel to different parts of the oceans, as well as different microorganisms that rely on the salinity, certain salinity levels of the water. And now we're gonna go ahead and start with our experiment. So first, we're gonna grab our 2 containers right here, and we're gonna pour some water. We're gonna go halfway through the containers, through the transparent containers, because we're gonna be adding mass and the volume is gonna change. So we're gonna do half and half. Remember which one is gonna be your control. That means that one is not gonna have any salt in it. So the left one is gonna be my control container, and the right one is gonna be my experiment container. But before I start, I just wanna ask you at home, what do you think makes the ocean salty? So I'm just gonna let that sink there, and ask around you, ask your parents or your brothers, sisters, and think why the ocean is salty. Well, the answer is that there are many components that makes the ocean salty, but the one that we're going to be talking about today is going to be erosion. Erosion are these sediments at the surface of the land that falls into the water and change the salinity of the ocean as well. So we're going to go ahead and start our experiment. We're going to grab our salt, and we're gonna add about 3 tablespoons of salt to our solution. So there you go, 1, 2, and 3, right there. And we're gonna mix it so that the solution is dissolved. Right there. And now I want you to ask yourself, what do you think is gonna happen after I drop the eggs in each of the containers? Are they gonna float? Are they gonna sink? So let's go ahead and find out. The first one is gonna be our control solution. So that one is just regular water. And as you can see, it sinks. It went all the way down, as we can see here. And now let's go ahead and try with our salt water. And as you can see, the egg, it actually floats. That's because we have changed the property of the water by increasing its density, and now the egg floated. So now I want you to see other components of our experiment. I've actually tried to do different try to use different salts. For example, our pink salt, which is different, has different properties, different components, and the only difference that I noticed is that I had to add more amount of salt to this container, to the pink salt container, because it has different properties than the regular salt, but the result was still the same. As you can see, I'm just now gonna drop the egg in the pink salt solution. As you can see, the egg is still floated. The only difference is that I add more pink salt. And I also tried this experiment with pool water. Which some pools are actually maintained with salt, and we're gonna go ahead and see what was our result in this experiment with pool water. And as you can see, it sunk all the way down. That is because there are a lot of chemicals in pool water, meaning that they interact differently with the salt, changing its properties, and as you can see here, it didn't make any difference, so both of them are at the bottom of the container. There you had it. This is our experiment for today, salt water. And I just want to make sure that you guys understand the importance of salinity in the oceans. There are different organisms that depend on it, and for example, there are others that depend on CO2 levels and the calcium levels to create their shell. So it is very important for them that the salinity of the water is the right one, making sure that we do not contaminate their environment so that they can live happily. So hopefully I raised some awareness and you like the experiment for today. So thank you very much for accompanying me today in this experiment. So I'll see you next week. Thank you very much.